is a sprawling necropolis on the west bank of the Nile, serving as the burial ground for many Egyptian pharaohs from over 3,000 years ago. Intricate tombs. The tombs feature extensive, well-preserved hieroglyphics and colorful reliefs depicting scenes from the afterlife. Historical significance. Pharaoh Rameses IX was the 8th ruler of the 20th dynasty, and his tomb has been open since antiquity, showing graffiti from Greek and Roman visitors. The site is a popular destination for tourists, allowing them to walk through the long passageways carved into the desert cliffs. Tomb KV6 in Egypt's Valley of the Kings is the final resting place of the 20th dynasty, Pharaoh Rameses IX. However, the archaeological evidence and the quality of decoration it contains indicates that the tomb was not finished in time for Rameses's death, but was hastily rushed through to completion, many corners being cut following his demise. It is located in the central part of the valley. Its unusually wide entrance stands between, and slightly above, those of two other tombs, KV5 and KV55. Running 105 meters into the hillside, the tomb begins with a gate and a shallow descending ramp, followed by 3 successive stretches of corridor. The first of these has 4 side chambers, 2 on each side, but none of these are decorated or finished. At the end of the corridors come 3 chambers. The first of these is decorated with the opening of the mouth ritual, and it is possible that a well shaft would have been dug here had the builders been afforded more time. The second chamber contains 4 large columns, but neither the cutting nor the decoration work were completed. At the far end of this chamber, a ramp slopes down to the burial chamber, where the pharaoh's sarcophagus was placed. The floor has a rectangular section carved out to accommodate it. The ceiling is vaulted and is decorated with splendid pictures of the goddess Nut. The side walls show scenes from the Book of Caverns and the Book of the Earth. The far wall depicts Rameses on his bark, surrounded by a host of gods. The yellows, dark blues, and blacks used to decorate this chamber are visually striking and unusual among the tomb decorations in the valley. While the sarcophagus itself has long since vanished, Rameses IX's mummy was one of those found in the Deir el-Bahri cache, DB320, in 1881. KV6 has been open since antiquity, as can be seen by the graffiti left on its walls by Roman and Coptic visitors. Of Rameses IX, KV6, in the Valley of the Kings is renowned for its well-preserved, vibrant and detailed wall carvings and paintings that depict the pharaoh's journey into the afterlife. The long descending corridor features scenes from the Book of Caverns, the Book of the Earth, the Amduat, and the Litanies of Re, while the ceiling showcases the Book of the Night, depicting the goddess Nut. This video offers a virtual tour inside the tomb of Rameses. The 9th key features of the carvings inside KV6 include decorative themes. The first 2 corridors feature scenes from the Litanies of Re, with the walls detailing the king's journey into the afterlife. Book of the Night ceiling. The burial chamber ceiling features a stunning representation of the goddess, Nut swallowing the sun, a hallmark of 20th dynasty tomb design. Funerary texts. The walls are decorated with scenes from the Book of Caverns, Book of the Earth, and the Amduat. Artistic quality. While the initial corridors are finely detailed, the decoration in the later sections shows a faster, less skilled, or unfinished, yet still impressive hand. Vivid colors. The carvings are notable for their deep blue ceilings, decorated with golden yellow stars and figures. Entrance details. The entryway includes depictions of a ram-headed god with baboons, a goddess with standards, and a mummiform Geb. The tomb has been opened since antiquity and contains numerous graffiti left by ancient visitors.
Karnak temple complex in Luxor, Egypt, a massive site dedicated primarily to the god Amun-Re. Construction of this vast complex began around 2000 BC and continued for over 1,500 years, with many pharaohs adding to it. The site includes the famous Great Hypostyle Hall, featuring 134 massive columns arranged in 16 rows. It was originally known as Ipet Isut, the most selected of places, and was the center of worship for the Theban triad of Amun, Mut, and Khonsu. The temple is physically linked to the Luxor temple by the Avenue of Sphinxes. The Karnak temple complex, located near Luxor, Egypt, is the largest religious building ever constructed, spanning over 200 acres and dedicated primarily to the Theban triad of Amun, Mut, and Khonsu. Built over 2,000 years, it features the massive hypostyle hall with 134 columns and served as the main place of worship during the New Kingdom. Key highlights: Great Hypostyle Hall. Covering 54,000 square feet, this hall contains 134 massive decorated columns with 12 central columns rising over 20 meters high. Sacred Lake, a large 129 meters by 77 meters basin used for ritual purification by priests. Obelisks features towering monuments, including the obelisk of Hatshepsut, which stands nearly 30 meters tall. Avenue of Sphinxes, a dramatic entranceway lined with ram-headed sphinxes representing the god Amun. The Dendera temple complex, located 60 kilometers north of Luxor, is one of Egypt's best-preserved Greco-Roman sites, primarily dedicated to the goddess Hathor. Built largely during the Ptolemaic period on older sacred foundations dating back to the Old Kingdom, it is renowned for its intact ceilings, vivid, restored, astronomical, and ritualistic paintings, and the Hathor-headed columns. Key features and highlights. Temple of Hathor. The main structure features massive columns with Hathor heads, detailed, colorful astronomical ceiling scenes, and depictions of Cleopatra VII and her son Caesarion on the exterior. The roof and crypts. Visitors can explore dark crypts featuring the Dendera light relief and access the roof, where a replica of the famous Dendera zodiac, the original is in the Louvre, is displayed. Restored artistry. The temple was long covered in soot, which has been removed to reveal brilliant colors. Complex features. The 40,000 square meter site includes a sacred lake, a Roman-era mamisi, birthhouse, and a basilica. Visiting information. Location, located on the west bank of the Nile in Kina, Egypt, just north of Luxor. Best time. Offers a less crowded alternative to Luxor temples, allowing for a more immersive experience. Tips. A private tour or taxi from Luxor is recommended, usually costing under $10 per person to enter. The temple serves as an unparalleled example of ancient Egyptian religious devotion, preserved in part because it was buried for centuries, allowing it to escape the destruction of many other ancient structures. The temple that dominates this complex, the structure that commands the attention of those who visit, is the Temple of Hathor. The original temple structure underwent continuous modifications throughout the Middle Kingdom and up until the beginning of the reign of the Roman Emperor Trajan. The existing temple structure began construction in 54 BCE, the late Ptolemaic period, under the reign of Ptolemy Auletes. The hypostyle hall was built in the Roman period under Tiberius. In Egypt, Trajan was quite active in constructing buildings and decorating them. He appears together with Domitian in offering scenes on the propylaeum of the Temple of Hathor. His cartouche also appears in the column shafts of the Temple of Khnum at Esna. The Temple of Hathor at Dendera, located north of Luxor, is one of Egypt's best-preserved Greco-Roman era sites, 30 BC to AD 14. Dedicated to the goddess of love, joy, and fertility, it features stunningly preserved ceilings, intricate astronomical reliefs, including the zodiac, and a rooftop dedicated to Osiris. Key features of the Temple of Hathor. Location. Situated within the Dendera temple complex, about 82 kilometers north of Luxor, on the west bank of the Nile. Architecture and preservation. The temple is celebrated for its preservation, featuring a massive hypostyle hall with columns adorned with the face of Hathor. Ceilings and art. The ceilings, famously cleaned of soot, display vivid astronomical depictions of the goddess Nut, celestial scenes, and astrology-inspired art. The zodiac, the famous Dendera zodiac relief, is located on the roof. Note that the original is in the Louvre in Paris, and a replica is in place. Crypts and roof access. The temple has several underground crypts containing mystical reliefs and a roof that can be accessed via a spiral staircase. Symbolism. It features unique reliefs, such as the Dendera light, often interpreted as the birth of a god, Horus or Harsamptis. Visitor tips. Accessibility. The temple is near the city of Kina and is best accessed via private transport or day trips from Luxor. Site details. The larger complex includes a sacred lake, a birthing house, and a chapel dedicated to Isis. Additional sites A smaller, separate temple of Hathor exists at Deir el-Medina, built by Ptolemy IV. The Temple of Dendera is one of the most beautiful, enigmatic, and best-preserved temples in Egypt. The Dendera temple is very close to Luxor, however. Although it is very easy to get to, it is not a very visited temple if we compare it with others located along the Nile, so you will find few people there. The second time I went to Egypt, I took the opportunity to visit this temple that I did not know, and without hesitation, I put it in the ranking of the most beautiful in the country. In Dendera Temple, you do not have to make the effort to color the temple to imagine what it was like in the time of the pharaohs, but it retains all its colors, and you can see it as they saw it. Dendera Temple History. Dendera Temple was built in Greco-Roman times between 30 BC and 14 AD and was built on top of an ancient temple. It is dedicated to the cow goddess Hathor, one of the most important goddesses of ancient Egypt. The cow goddess was the one who represented fertility, childbirth, motherhood, and was the one that the sick came to ask for healing. It was worshipped since pre-dynastic times and also represented love, beauty, eroticism, and joy. So that you can distinguish it in the hieroglyphs, it is represented with two horns holding the solar disk. In the capitals of the columns of the Dendera temple, it appears with the head of a woman and the ears of a cow. If in any hieroglyph you see a cow, see if its body is full of stars, it will also be her. Dendera Temple is in a very good state of preservation. It is the only Egyptian temple that retains its original colors since it was covered by desert sands for many years. Ancient Egyptian carvings spanning from 6000 BC to the 4th century AD were integral to tombs and temples to ensure immortality and honor gods. Utilizing copper chisels and wooden mallets for soft stone and abrasive sand for hard stone, artists created detailed symbolic works. Techniques included sunken reliefs, low relief, bas relief, and high relief, often enhanced with vibrant paint. This video demonstrates how ancient Egyptians used tools like chisels and mallets to carve intricate designs into stone. The use of hieroglyphic writing derived from proto-literate symbol systems in the early Bronze Age circa the 33rd century BC, Nakata 3-6, with the first decipherable sentence written in the Egyptian language. Temple of Seti I in Abydos is a profoundly significant, well-preserved New Kingdom temple in Upper Egypt, dedicated to Osiris, Seti I, and several gods. Famed for its exceptionally fine, detailed, and vibrant bas-reliefs, it features a unique L-shaped design, two impressive hypostyle halls, 7 sanctuaries, and the renowned Abydos king list showing the pharaohs. Key features and highlights. Location: situated on the west bank of the Nile near the modern town of El Araba El Madfuna. The King List. Located on a corridor wall, this list features cartouches of 76 kings from Egypt's history up to Seti I, which is vital to Egyptological history. 7 chapels. The innermost part of the temple has 7 side-by-side chapels dedicated to Seti I, Ta, Rehorakti, Amun-Re, Osiris, Isis, and Horus. Osirian. Located directly behind the main temple, this mysterious subterranean structure is believed to be a symbolic tomb for Osiris. Architecture.